I told this man, I don't think it's working for me. He said, all right, peace out. What? Pardon? Like, I must have been pranked. This must be a prank. Ashton Kutcher. There's no way. What do you mean? You had a couple months with, listen, it might not look like it right now, but y'all can imagine, like, with me, my personality, my care, my heart, you're not yearning for me? Like, you're not, like, why are you not?
Somebody in the comments said, this is unchecked narcissism. And she doesn't even realize it.
Is it the dating pool that is shallow, or is it me that's shallow? Because I don't want to date a man who's dancing on TikTok. Like, no, go build a house, go to war, go change a tire. Like, don't on TikTok. Oh gosh.
This is a great comment here. One man said, go make dinner, go do laundry, go bake a pie. Get off of social media yourself.
So I was talking to this guy from a reality TV show, and he damn near ruined my life and got himself canceled in a span of like 3 months. So I'm obviously not going to name drop, and I'm not going to name the reality show that he was from, but this was back in like 2023. November of 2023, I think, is when we started talking. And he had just gotten off the show. And we started talking through like Snapchat first. He asked for my Snapchat. No, he didn't ask for my Snapchat. He gave me his Snapchat. First red flag. This man is in his mid-30s, okay? And to give some background, I'm a huge fan of this show, like super fan. And I obviously knew who he was. I watched him on that season. Like, I was clearly like down to talk to him, right? So we start talking on Snapchat and things are going pretty well. We're getting to know each other. He's super sweet, very nice. He's asking me questions about myself and we're just talking, you know? And this went on for like a week and a half, okay? I remember it was like, I think the week before Thanksgiving or the week of Thanksgiving. And we are talking like every day, okay? Consistently every day. Now this dude on the show, he was kind of perceived as like a bad guy, like not a bad guy, but like a villain kind of. Like, no, not very many people liked him on the show. And I don't think a lot of people liked him off the show. Like, I just thought he was cute. Like, I had a crush on him. So like a week into December, he ends up going on another little reality TV show spinoff of the show that he was on. And so he let me know beforehand, and he wasn't gonna have his phone, so I wasn't gonna be able to talk to him or anything. But I was like, it's cool. Like, I'm gonna be watching the show, rooting you on. You know, what could possibly go wrong? He comes back from the show. We're talking again. We're FaceTiming. At this point, he had ended up meeting my friends like over FaceTime, and also there were a few red flags that I started to pick up on that I was like, oh, time call. He says that he has to stay in control of the relationship, meaning that I got 3 strikes. Okay, and he says, if you get 3 strikes, then you're out. And I'm like, well, I genuinely thought he was joking, but then I was like, I can't tell if you're kidding or not. Like, what? And then he's all, okay, that's strike 1. You're gonna think a lot of these red flags are rage bait at this point because I still continued to talk to him after, but I'm a gots to see it through type of person. Plus, I wasn't really thinking too hard into the situation, so please don't touch me. So Christmas rolls around and we're still talking at this point. And I remember we FaceTimed, and on that FaceTime call, he made a really weird comment. He was like, I'm gonna leave you on red and I'm gonna stop messaging you back so that you like me more. And I thought he was joking. I genuinely thought he was joking. And I was like, okay, what? That's not gonna work. Like, the day of Christmas, I text him and I say, Merry Christmas, and I get no response. I'm like, okay, that's a little silly. A day goes by and I'm like, oh, okay, that's really silly. That's just so funny. And then a couple more days go by and I'm like, bro was being serious. Okay, I'm gonna pull up the receipts, okay? I said, are you okay? I'm kind of worried. Did I do something wrong? No response. And then the next day, okay, so this is like 5 days at this point. He says, oh God, no, you're amazing. I'm just going through a lot. Thank you for being so awesome. I go in and out of talking. There's a lot of stress and pressure right now. So then I reply and I say, I just wanted to make sure you were all right and everything was good. I'm always here if you need to vent. Sorry you're feeling stressed. And then he sends me a song from one of my favorite bands. And I'm like, okay, but how do you know the song from my favorite band? So then I remember I go live on Instagram with my friend and he ends up joining my live stream, okay? And I remember he was texting me because we hadn't really talked that much at that point. After he had sent that message, I was like, you know, I'm gonna take a step back. But I went live, and that night he texted me. He was like, oh, I get to watch you for a change. Like, this is whatever. And so I was like, okay, huh. So are we good now? This is so typical. And then we started talking about music, and we're basically talking again at this point, like kind of consistently. I remember we also were talking on Snapchat still. This was over, okay, so some of this was over text, but we were still talking over Snap too, and like Snapchatting. And he would also FaceTime me randomly during the day. Just randomly would pop in and FaceTime me. So I thought, okay, if he can do that, then I must be able to do that too. So I remember I was going to a concert that day and I was checking into the hotel and everything. When I got to the hotel, I FaceTimed him before I went to the show to like, you know, talk to him, let him know, hey, I'm gonna like go to the show. I wanted him to see my outfit, all this stuff. And he didn't respond. He didn't answer the FaceTime. So I was like, oh, okay. So after the show, I text him and I say, are you awake? No response. I'm like, oh, he must not be awake. A few days go by and I'm like, oh, bro must be sleeping really hard. That's so crazy. So at this point, I'm pissed, okay? I noticed that when I get angry on my story times, I always raise my voice. So I'm trying to like keep it at a minimum. At this point, I start losing my mind because I'm like, are you kidding me? Not again, okay? So I don't text him. I refuse. I literally chain myself to my head and I'm like, I'm not texting this man. I'm not talking to him. I'm not reaching out. Like, if he's not gonna talk to me, I'm not gonna talk to him. But I was going crazy in the inside, okay? I was going absolutely crazy. I remember I was calling my therapist every single day, bawling my eyes out in my car because I was just so like, why is this happening? Why am I being ghosted right now? Like, this makes no sense. I mean, this does make sense considering he literally said that he was gonna stop talking to me at times so that I would like him more. But being ghosted is literally the worst feeling ever. And also, it's just so like cowardice. Like, what the And I've been treated bad in my life, but being just straight up ghosted, no response, nothing, that is just pure evil. So you know that era after a breakup when you start posting on Instagram again on your story and you're just like trying to feel hot again? Well, obviously I start doing that. And then I see that he's liking my story. And then one day, not only is he liking my story, he responds to my story. I'm like, okay, what the f is going on? So I still don't really respond to him. He ends up, okay, so fast forward like over a month and a half. My birthday's in February, okay? So I hadn't really talked to him at that point. I was still like low-key a little salty because being ghosted is just not fun. Oh, I was just trying to move on at this point. And then he texts me happy birthday on my birthday. Now, this is probably where you would say, block him, ghost him, don't ever talk to him again. But in my head, my logic was, I don't want to be on bad terms with someone from my favorite TV show, okay? Because I just didn't want that. I didn't want any animosity, nothing. Like, I was at that point, like, willing to move forward from it. I didn't want to talk to him again like that, but I just wanted to be chill. So whatever, we don't talk for months, and then April rolls around, and he messages me, and he's like, oh, I've been thinking about you, like, what are you doing? We had both happened to be going to LA at the same time. But at this point, like, I wasn't trying to do anything with him. I was responding to him, but I probably shouldn't have been at all. But then he's asking to hang out and stuff while we're in LA, which did not end up happening, okay? I did not end up hanging out with him. After that, I blocked him on Instagram and everything. And then a couple weeks later, my sister shows me this post that he made on his Instagram. It was a statement, him saying, I got the receipts here. Apparently he was involved with a relationship with a 24-year-old woman while he was still married to his wife, technically. And then he cheated on her with another 24-year-old woman. Initially, I was like, is he talking about me? I'm so confused. But then I realized, no, he was talking to me as well as 2 other women my age. Oh, well, he still had a wife. Dude was getting bagged on so hard on Twitter, but obviously I stopped talking to him after that. And then literally 5 months later, he hits me up again and he's trying to talk to me. To this day, he still texts me, but I don't respond. But yeah, there's still more to the story, but for the most part, dude was a tool. I guess never meet your heroes.
Why would he be your hero? He was a villain on a TV show. What's going on? I'm on the phone with my therapist every single day. He told you he was going to do that. Do y'all not hear what people be saying? The man gave you his snap, saying, I know what I'm working with. I know what I got. I already know you thirsty. And guess what? You were thirsty. And then these are the type of women that be talking about, where are the good men? I can't find one. Why don't men approach me anymore? How come I can't get a man to court me and pursue me? It's because y'all spend most of y'all time, countless months, with this guy, knowing this guy is playing games. Guy said, hey, I'm about to play games with you. That's as clear as it can get. I'm going to play games with you. You good with that? Yeah, I am. This man went back on a dating show while y'all were talking, and you're still trying to talk to him. Y'all guys got something wrong with y'all's minds. That's why I keep on saying, just because some of these modern women be talking about, oh, you need to go to therapy, you need to, that ain't working. They just go to therapy because it's something to do. It's a trend. And then they go ahead and make decisions like, to get out of my face.
So it has gotten so bad out here on these streets to where when a woman says, a real woman that's looking for something real, when she starts saying, I need this man that's in my life to be my protector, that security that I need, that leadership that I need in my life from a masculine man. And when they hear provider, everybody flips out, because usually nowadays when a woman says that she needs a provider in her life from a man, it automatically equals in their mind that she's looking for help. And sometimes I will say, I have to agree, that is true in a lot of cases. That is true. And those women have messed it up for like women that are not looking for men to be providers that equal a dollar amount attached to, I need you to provide for me. I need you to pay my bills. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. I need you to take me out and spend $200 on a meal. Like, there's some women out here that are truly providing for themselves. There's so many other things that you can require from a masculine man as a provider outside of material things, dollar signs attached to it. Even value. When you hear people say value, I bring value to the relationship, people automatically go to money. Like, money is the only thing that brings value to people. Like, this is why I like to have conversations with open-minded individuals, because when you are open-minded, you look at life in a whole different aspect. Having conversations with closed-minded people and you're an open-minded person, I'm sorry, don't waste your time. Do not waste your time. And make sure whoever you're dealing with, you know why they're in your presence, what they're around you for. Like, because there's some women out here that's not looking for a man to just be helped financially, a man to just be around her for material things, a man that just give, and she just there to take. There's some women out here that's really looking to build a solid foundation. And if you're not standing on business about those women, and you're not in that same space that she is in, spiritually, mentally, physically, working on growing and becoming better, then leave her alone. Because that woman is at peace. She enjoying her peace. And she don't need no fake, phony.
One comment said, it is 2025. We are no longer obligated to be protectors and providers. We are teaching young men to evade that situation. Another comment said, we don't care about looks anymore. We just want peace.
Women don't value consistency. They value opportunity more. Women do not value consistency. They value opportunity. And that's why there's so many good guys out here that just get completely played and left behind. Most women do not care if you are loyal or if you are consistent, because they care more about a man who appears to offer a better life. I will say that again. They do not care if you're loyal or not, or that you work hard to take care of them, or that you sacrifice for them. They are only loyal to the promise of a better lifestyle, better status, or excitement. Your consistency will go out the window the second a new opportunity comes knocking. And it can only appear like an opportunity. And women will jump out there with someone new, and when it doesn't work, they circle back to their safety net. They don't even have to confirm that the new opportunity is real. They just have to believe it in their minds. So you have to stay consistent in yourself. We talk about this in our book. This is real. It's literally like cookie cutter, like a blueprint. And people still ask me on a regular basis, and I give the same answers. Telling you, get the book, read the book. It's available as an ebook and an audiobook. And it comes with a free book that gives you the background on all the characters. These characters are based on real people that we know and have worked with. So get the book. 9 times out of 10, your situation is not a unicorn situation.
This is when I know I'm way too single. I'm watching all these men walk out of Costco with bouquets of flowers, wondering like, what the heck is going on? Doesn't even dawn on me that it's Valentine's this weekend, because like, why would it?
I know I haven't been talking much about my dating life lately, but I just got back from a coffee date. Did not end the way it should have ended. And let's make it clear, I'm open to discussion. If I'm crazy and off the wall here for thinking this, go ahead and let me know. But I really don't feel like this is out of line. A grown man who is 4 years older than me asked me on a coffee date today, which is perfect. It's right up my alley. I don't want to go out to dinner. I don't want to go out to lunch. A coffee date is literally the key to my heart. So of course I took him up on it. We met, we were vibing, we were having fun. I ordered a latte, a bottle of sparkling water. He had a latte as well, but his latte took a little bit longer because the server dropped some glassware and had to clean it up. So it took a second to get his drink to the table. The date was winding down, we're ready to go home, and the server comes by with a bill. And she goes, you know what, here's the bill. I took your chai latte off the bill. Sorry it took so long, but it is on us. Like, so sorry about that. Thoughtful, nice, right? So he grabs the bill and he goes, oh, you'd like to split it? Would I like to split a $15.23 bill? Again, it's not about the money. It's about chivalry. It's about a man being a man. Honestly, it's a little embarrassing. Even if I'm out with my girlfriend, okay, maybe someone will pay for the bill and someone will Venmo back, but $15.23 to split that? And then the tip on top of that? Ugh, just got the major ick. So of course I tipped the server $10 on my $7 and whatever cent half of the bill was because I was embarrassed. That is not right. She should not have to go to the extra effort to even split the bill. It's just crazy. And what makes matters worse is that he asked at the end, so we do this again, right? I don't know. I'm just completely turned off by it. I understand maybe he's trying to weed out like sugar babies or whatever. I'm like, this literally is $7. If you can't pay for a $7 coffee, why are you asking me out on a date in the first place? Now you're going to go down in history as the man who didn't pay for my coffee. So say it didn't work out between us. Maybe a few months go by and one of my girlfriends, oh, I'm going on a date with this guy, shows me a photo. What am I going to tell her? Oh, that's the guy that didn't pay for my coffee. You don't want to be known as that. You don't want to be known as that. Be a gentleman. Pay for the coffee. Pay for the $7 coffee. That's all it takes, and there won't be any drama, any bad blood. It's easy. Easy.
You know, honestly, I have a sneaky suspicion that he's okay not wasting money or not having to spend money over and over again. I think he's okay with that.
Dear women, please stop lying to men about us not being gold diggers, because I swear 90% of girls at this day and age, they're gold diggers, and it makes me sick. So 2 months ago, I'm clubbing and I meet this girl and she seems really sweet, so we exchange Instagrams, whatever. We hang out a couple times in LA. We don't get particularly close, but like, she's nice. I don't have anything against her. We're still following each other. Tell me, why does this girl, every time I go to Miami, for a work trip, mind you, message me this exact line? Oh my God, you're in Miami. Why didn't you tell me? I would have come with you. I really need me a Miami trip. Girl, I didn't sign up to be your sugar daddy. I didn't even sign up to be your boyfriend, let alone girlfriend. Why are you expecting me to bring you to Miami? If your ass needs a trip to Miami, you can go and pay for your ticket and go here by yourself or with your friends or with your man. Why are you expecting me, who barely knows you, to bring you and basically sponsor your free stay to Miami while I'm working? Like, no, that's weird. Maybe I'm just not a girl's girl, but to me, that's like user gold digging mentality, and I just don't deal with people like that.
Isn't that crazy? The video that we just saw, she was upset because a man wouldn't pay $15. I get it, but once again, the man doesn't really even know you, right? And so you're asking him to buy this, do that, tip this, do that. But now she's saying, a lot of men are thinking, I don't know you. Why are you expecting me to sponsor your activities just off the bat? Crazy how that works.
I personally never understood the like, oh no, but we can't date, I don't want to ruin the friendship. Is that not the most ideal situation? Is that you're friends first? The friendship's gonna be ruined if you like each other and you don't do anything about it.
Guys will be like, you're the funniest girl I've ever met. So marry me. What are you waiting for? It could be a comedy show every day, baby. Marry me.
Do I look like I would go 50-50 on bills? If people like to split their bills with their man, I think that's what you should do. I don't do that.
Look at what happened. She caught herself flexing and got a bigger flex on her. Now he's with somebody he doesn't have to pay a dime for. So it didn't work. You lost him to somebody with more money that will do 50-50. Now he's with a tall glass of milk. Pause.
The thing with men is they don't want to beat the same topic into the ground.
Yes.
Like when you like bring up the topic that you've already talked about 3 times, they'll be like, "Yeah, you talked."
They have
about
no
this.
change of opinion. They have no other outlook or perception of it.
Like we can like talk about the same thing and be like, "Well, you know what's interesting actually," and bring it up again in a new way.
Yeah.
And you can like we literally never run out of things to talk about. Where a guy would be like, "Okay, yeah, like
I've heard enough.
we've talked about that before." Like, yeah, I know. And you're like,
and that's the best thing about women.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Men don't do that.
No.
And they're honestly like their quality of life is worse, I think.
I agree. I agree completely.
I think the only type of straight man that comes close to understanding what a woman feels is a very beautiful, attractive, undeniably gorgeous man. And I don't mean someone who's subjectively gorgeous, like someone who's just gorgeous to you because they're a certain type. I feel like most straight men fall under that category. Like they're a very niche type of hotness, but it doesn't mean that most people would look at them and be like, yeah, they're really good looking. But I mean the people that are like undeniably good looking, right? And these men are basically treated as if they were women by the world, meaning they're never the chaser, they only attract. A lot of these men will have never approached a woman in their life because they don't know that they're supposed to, because they're always the ones getting approached. They might be a lot by all genders, and they're also heavily sexualized by the public, and they're always being used for their looks and their attractiveness. So I truly think that these kinds of straight men are the only ones that can even come close to understanding the experience of being a woman.
You know, when somebody complains about the stuff that they're actually profiting from, I think that this is her. Like, you know that you're cute, and then you're going to take that. But then you're like, oh no, the bad side of it. Oh God, why? You're intentionally going out there and profiting off of your looks. And then you're trying to make it seem like the world is so hard for you.
Who do you think has it worse dating, women or men?
I think men do. I don't even think it's close. Not only are you competing with yourself, like, oh, can I get this girl? You're competing with every other guy, not in the bar, but also online, DMing your girl. You could get flown out by this athlete tomorrow. This guy could hit her up. It is way harder for a guy to date than a girl. You could go up to any guy in the bar and you could make him your boyfriend. Easy.
Yeah, but girls are always getting over. Like guys want this perfect girl, like no followers.
You're the one that's like, I
this.
want all my love to be like The Notebook in the movies.
Okay, yeah, but that's not like I say that, but like the guys that I like fall for, it ends up being like and I still fell for them anyways. Like I don't only get with like these perfect guys. Like guys are always looking for the next best thing. They never like
You don't
settle.
think girls do that?
I don't. I would have settled for like some 7 loser.
A 7 is a loser now? These modern women say anything.
Amen. XYZ. I hear it. I don't see it. You hate them so much, yet you pleasing them while pleasing your bologna sandwich down there. Oh, but I'm not even doing it for them. I'm doing it for the money. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. Because at the end of the day, you are doing it for them. You're fulfilling their fantasies. You're fulfilling capitalism. You're fulfilling a lot of things for them. It's one thing to get your money how you get your money, but it's another thing to come up on here and be like, yeah, this is what I do for a living, but oh man, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because if you truly could not stand men, just a subscription alone by a man, knowing that he's subscribing to see you playing with your bologna sandwich would be unfathomable to you. Knowing that you're pleasing him is gonna piss you off. You don't hate them. They're the source of your pockets. You love them.
I just sat next to a couple at the bar and listened to them try to decide what they wanted for dinner, aka I listened to the man ask his girlfriend what she wanted for dinner, and it was this whole whiny saga, and I finally understand, and I'm probably gonna get hate from this from women, but I don't care. You need to learn how to make a decision or to not have an opinion at all, because like, why is dinner only up to you, but you can't make up your mind? Let him decide, and don't have an opinion. And if he decides, you're like, that's not what I want, then figure out what you want.
I just saw a girl in here say it's okay to leave a man if he doesn't have any money, because there are men out here leaving pregnant women. And that is so true. Your life is so short. You only live once. Do not lower your standards for anybody. If he doesn't have it now, it's okay to leave him and go try to find somebody else or go live your life. And then if he has it later, maybe you guys can run it back at that time. But do not settle for these broke men, because half of them, once they do get their money up, they're gonna leave you for their dream girl anyways. So just always keep that in mind, ladies. We are on a different timeline and have a biological clock that's ticking, whereas these men, even if they're 50 years old, they can get a girl that's, whatever age they want, that's over 18. Also think your children deserve to have a dad that has money. You don't want them to struggle, right? Don't procreate with brokies. You will regret it.
If he has it later, then maybe y'all can run it back. It's the dumbest thing I've heard in a long time. And she's saying it with a straight face.
Suitable helpmate. And he made that helpmate not because she's weaker, but because God has given men a capacity and a responsibility that women do not have. And we have to be honest about it. We can say he's not a man, he doesn't know how to lead, he doesn't whatever. There's still a capacity inside of him that God did not give us as women. And one of the biggest examples that I can give of that, imagine it's raining and you're in New York City. And if you've ever been to New York City or in France and it starts raining and people start selling umbrellas on the street, those $5, $10 umbrellas, they're not worth much, but they get the job done until you get home. Imagine you have that man. You have the man that gets the job done, isn't anything special, but he gets the job done. That man, no matter how little you view him, is made to handle the rain. You were not made to handle the rain, but you were made to hold up that which can handle the rain. If you didn't have that umbrella, you would come back home smelling like what you were poured on, what poured on you. When a man comes back in as that umbrella, he gets dried quickly, water repellent, it falls off of him, and no matter how equipped you thought he was still built for the rain. The difference also, some of you want that Neiman Marcus umbrella. Some of you want the wood handle. Those things are heavy. And if God gave you a man like that, then you have to be the woman that can hold up that man. Because an umbrella that is not used, it can be for the rain, for the sun. It shields, it provides shade, it allows what's under it not to be touched. We are the vessel, not weaker. We are the vessel that was meant to let the one that God gave us be held up and used for what he was made. So now, as a wife, I want to say, I don't want to get wet. I don't want to sunburn. My skin's not built for that. So instead, I'm going to let the man be who he was meant to be. And if God gave me, which he did, my man's about as heavy as this table. That means God made me capable of holding him up. If my man is not doing what he was made to do, it's because I, as his wife, am not holding him up. One thing I will credit myself to is that man can come and do what God has him to do, because on the back end, he is being held up and held down. Not about me, but to say this about submission. If you think submission, God made...
No, you can go ahead and walk off on that. That's a mic drop right there. Go ahead, drop that mic and walk off. You did what you were supposed to do.
Single life sucks. I mean, at this point, I'm just going to wait on Big G himself to come down and be like, Shay, I got a homeboy that want to meet you, because this is some straight up, yeah.
I have a genuine question, especially for men. But I mean, women can say something too. But how do men show a woman that they like them or that they're interested in them if they're not actively pursuing her? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're not chasing somebody, and I know that a lot of men don't like to chase women nowadays. It's crazy. But like, how do you expect for a woman to know that like you really love her down bad if you're not chasing her? Do you know what I mean? I think this generation has kind of like lost sight of that. And I don't know. I mean, for men, do you feel like the woman has to like chase you back, or like, I don't know. And I feel like there's definitely like a power dynamic in that too. And like, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
What are your thoughts on women like that who specifically date just to lock someone down with money?
I think it's funny that women seem to have such an outsized idea of their worth. They all think they're 10s, you know, like every woman's beautiful. No, not
Listen, men think the same way.
not
too.
every
Come
woman,
on.
not everyone is beautiful, men or women, and they think that, you know, because they're a 10 and because their friends tell them they're a 10, then that they deserve a 10. They may get to hook up with a 10, like, because guys will hook up with girls. You know, that guy is not going to wife. They're going to constantly be disappointed when there's plenty of 6s that would wife them up and be good to them and not cheat on them and support them, you know, but they're not going to settle for a 6 because everyone's told them, all their friends have told them they're a 10 when they're not a 10.
So you
know?
think that most women are dating out of their league, or seeking someone out of
Oh,
their
they're
league?
definitely, women will not date down.
It's just they cannot get their attraction circuitry like clicking to do that.
Take a look at this photo. Now take a look at this one. Do you see the difference? This lady is going viral because she looks world different without the makeup on. This is why men want to see sooner than later what women look like without the makeup. Which begs the question, at what point is it identity theft? At what point does it cross the line from I enhance myself to I am in the mode of deceiving? This woman has enough makeup on to start a mobile Sephora. Stop the delusion.
Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I'm single with no kids. I live alone. Other times I wake up and I'm like, I'm single with no kids and I live alone. Honestly, I might have to give up on dating for a while because once you get to your 30s, all of the guys that are worth dating and actually want to settle down are taken. Basically, I'm like, there are two options. I can wait for round 2, like when people are getting divorced, swoop up either like a divorced guy or like, I don't know, a widow, or I could date a 22-year-old. Guys that are left right now and they're like mid to late 30s, they're like, I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm like, could it be the pill for male pattern baldness? Is that what you're looking for? These guys are gonna be in trouble when the divorces start happening because these round 2 guys, like some of them have hair and like communication skills. The other guys are always like, I don't know what you want me to say. I'm like, not that. There's no excuse anymore. You have ChatGPT. Ask it what to say. Lie. I don't care. Just say something. Guys in my comment section are always like, you're just bitter because no one wants to date you. And I'm like, that's simply not true. There's at least 3 disgruntled divorced dads from like Idaho in my DMs that want to date me. And at this point, I think it's literally only a matter of like days or maybe even hours until I'm desperate enough to just go for one of them. So I just spilled this inside my drawer that I literally cleaned last night because it's... Anyway, so I'm gonna clean that up and then go cry about being single. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna message one of the divorced dads. Bye.
You know, modern women are able to spot all these patterns except the right one. Instead of saying, hey, all of the good guys are being taken pretty early on. Maybe I should stop thinking that I could wait and do the boss babe lifestyle, and when I'm done, then I'll just catch me a man, he'll just fall into my lap. Maybe I should start looking for one and get me one of those guys pretty early on. Does that ever cross y'all's mind?
Okay, so I wanted to make a little video on why I canceled my last date last minute. Now, I met this very handsome, very charming man at a coffee shop. So we already knew that there was a little bit of chemistry and attraction. And typically, I always recommend that gentlemen, especially on a first date, that you always go to the lady's location first, because this is what makes her feel safe in case she needs to depart, if she feels uncomfortable. It's easier and safer for her to get home, and it's also less costly for her. Now, living in New York, I will say that travel expenses are very high. I mean, taxis and Ubers are more expensive in New York than any other part in the United States. So with this said, we made plans for dinner, and I recommended a place that was near me to make things kind of easy for him. And he said, oh, I love that restaurant, but I really would prefer if we go to the one near me, which is downtown, and I live uptown. Now, for me to get to him, it probably would have cost me $100. in cab fare. And you know what he said? And I was so turned off by this. I mean, I have not had a guy do the 50-50 thing or even try this with me in, I don't know, at least 10 years or something. I don't normally attract this type of behavior. But so this guy, you know, tries to test me and he's like, oh, well, you know, I'll pay for the Uber over here, but you can pay for it when you leave and go home. And I said, you know what, let's just take a rain check. And I blocked and deleted him. So let this be a lesson to you fellas, because look, it's not that I can't afford $100, but I'm already spending so much money just to show up and look my best for you. I mean, you count the amount of what women spend on our hair, our makeup, our nails. I mean, it is hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, okay, just for me to show up on a date. So yes, I'm all natural, you know, but at the same time, it's like I spend so much money on maintenance that it's like, you know, you're not doing your makeup for me. You're not getting your hair done for me. You're not getting facials done for me. You're not doing any of that. So being a woman is extremely expensive. And to add any little extra expense on top of that is just going to break the camel's back. So I just said, you know what? I would rather be alone tonight and make myself a nice, warm, home-cooked meal. And that's what I did. So let this be a lesson to you fellas if you don't want a girl to cancel on you last minute.
It's not a lesson. It's a blessing. You had me until you lost me on the maintenance. I mean, my God, him having to pay $100 plus you're talking about, oh, well, maintenance. You're doing the maintenance on yourself anyway. That's not the man's responsibility. You're having him pay $100 plus what the date is going to cost, plus any other stuff that you might have want him to send. I can tell right now, oh, send me flowers, do this for me, do that for me. Absolutely not. No. Should you be treated with respect? For sure, obviously so. But modern women have this thing in their head to where the man is just, without question, supposed to just start throwing money. Oh, if you don't have it, start dating in your league. Whatever. You're not in nobody's league. You're not in nobody's league. You didn't charging them for the makeup, charging them for your facials, spa treatments and all that stuff. I can only imagine how much of a burden and a headache it's going to be, not even when y'all get married, but when y'all start dating. Y'all really got to do better out here. At your age, man, you know, anyway.
You guys are not going to believe this. So I was on a dating app, matched with this guy, and it got really weird pretty quickly. He was starting to send me his Facebook page. He's like, you know, just so you could get to know me better. And he started sending me songs, and it just got little, he was selling himself. Let's put it that way. He was selling himself. And our plans were to just have coffee. Cause I was like, you know what? I got to drop my kids off at the theater, the town over. He's like, I live in that town. Perfect. And I said, you know what? How about we'll get coffee then? Because they are with an adult, but I'm still dropping them off. It's a 3D movie. It hurts my eyes. I can't go in. So I told him the time. And then, like I said, after that, he started sending me just stuff every day. And so I just unmatched with him. Like, I don't need to explain that you're a psychopath. So I just unmatched with him. And then I dropped my kids off. As I'm driving away, I see a guy that looks just like him in a storefront window, because this is like a strip center, like a strip mall. It's him. He's taking either videos or photos of me through the large window, because I could see his phone, and he's like smiling. I then pulled over and I went back to his Facebook. I'm like, does he own this place? Like, he does. He does. So he knew what time I was going to be here. Oh, it's so creepy. So now I just decided to stay here. I'm in the parking lot. I'm like, have a bird's eye view of the front door, because you never know. I mean, of course, right? He's probably just a weirdo. But still, like, I don't want to bug my kids in the movie. And never, ever, ever give up your kids' names, ages, phone numbers, anything. So I'm getting off the app, because there's another guy that I matched with, and I gave him my cell phone number. That's another thing. Don't give people your cell phone number. They start to stalk you. And so I gave him my cell phone number, and we were texting back and forth for a few days, and he seemed really nice and whatever. Well, then I wake up one morning he had texted me at night, and it's a picture of me, and he goes, "Is this you?" I didn't even respond. And then the next day he texted again. He's like, "Sorry if that, disturbed you or bothered you." And I said, "Yeah, it is kind of, it did catch me off guard having someone send me a photo of myself whom I've never met in my entire life." So yeah, that relationship, if you, whatever, want to call it, done. So what I've learned is, number one, I'm getting off the app. Because I always said I want to meet someone in the wild. And the reason I keep looking away is I'm like watching the front door. I went against my own rules. My own rules were meet someone in the wild, number one. But if you're going to be out on a dating app, don't give up any of your information, not your kids' names, not their ages, not your damn phone number. You know what you could find through a phone number? Everything. And if you want to find even more stuff, all you got to do is pay $3.99 for a 3-day trial thing on, I forgot the name of the website, but you could find out everything about a person. So keep it on a first name basis. Don't ever let anyone know anything about you until it's close to official. That's my PSA of the day.
Yeah, that's weird. And that's diabolical work on the man's part. Definitely stay safe. Definitely not give out your personal information. If you want to get a Google number, a Google Voice number or something like that. I mean, I know a lot of times women are like, "Oh man, I don't want to give them my social media, Yeah, but I'm not giving you direct access to me until we really start getting to know each other. You know what I mean? We need to have some conversations first before you and I start talking. With phone numbers nowadays, I don't know if it's super terrible because you can just block the person, but then again, they could possibly take your number and look you up, skip trace, that sort of thing. There's a lot of diabolical men out there, but yeah, definitely watch yourself out there.
Just talk about how dating outside your type has levels to this. There's levels to this, and I need y'all to really be open and transparent about that, okay? This is coming from someone who continuously keeps dating people that are outside her normal type, and each and every time I'm disappointed, okay? I keep listening to the girls and the coaches telling you, just try to date somebody outside your type, you might find the one. A couple of weeks ago, I was bored, and so I decided to entertain this guy who kept messaging me. He went as far as adding me on Facebook. I had met him a couple months ago during game night. One of my sister's friends invited him over. Pretty cool, quiet guy, but he became obsessed with me. He went as far as adding me on Facebook and started DMing me, but I just ignored it because I have no interest. He's not my type. So then a couple weeks ago, I was really bored and I was like, you know what? Let's see, maybe this might go far. Let's see what happens. And so then I started talking to him, I'm really being kind, really just trying to get to know him. And then I realized that this man doesn't even know where a period goes, a comma, nothing, capitalization of words. The words don't even word. There's nothing makes sense during our conversations. What the f am I supposed to do with this? What the hell am I supposed to do with this?
Many months later.
I'm a content creator and I aspire to be an influencer. I've been on TikTok now for almost 3 years, and I understand that when I'm coming online and I am sharing content, in particular content that has to deal with my past life, as I like to call it, I am going to be subject to hate, negativity, harassment, trolling, you name it. I've been there so many times. I get that. This is where they are. It's going to happen. And I also do understand that a lot of these people that are coming online simply are just hurt. They have their own personal insecurities and trauma that they're dealing with, and the only way they can deal with that is by hurting other people. For some reason, it helps them, it makes them feel good. I don't know. But one thing I truly will never understand, well, maybe I get it, but also I've noticed that it's a particular demographic that is predominantly showing up in my comments. It's a particular demographic, and I just find that to be quite interesting because you would think it's the opposite way. And when I say that, I'm specifically talking about Americans. I just want to point that out, okay? Because I do know that I have a lot of African followers. As an African woman, I do want to point that out. I'm talking about Americans specifically. What's going on? Like, I know we're not in a good place right now, politically, economically, socially. We're just not doing well. But what is actually going on? Like, deep down, what is happening? Like, are you all okay? Y'all just got a lot of time on your hands to find it during your day-to-day and to make it a point to come online and people and just be downright mean for nothing that impacts you personally. Like, on a personal level, my life and your life are completely detached. And so, or any other women on this app, 99.9% of my negative comments are coming from American men. 99.9% of the comments on my videos that are negative come from American men. And I have a following all over. I'm well traveled. So I travel all over the world, and I'm Zimbabwean, so I have a lot of Zimbabwean followers. 99% of my comments that are negative come from American men. Is everything okay?
I think I figured out why. Your overall personality is very disrespectful. Maybe you're a nice person, but sometimes people just have a certain aesthetic about them. They say certain things, they do certain things, and then they wonder why the backlash comes. I think I've said this before, maybe to a family member or in another situation. You create a storm and then you get mad when it starts to thunder and lightning. You say things about men online that, quite honestly, you could have said to your girlfriend. You could have talked to your dog about it. You could have called your mom. Mama, do you know what these men are doing? Man, these men are crazy. You could have called a brother, a cousin, anybody. But you decide to get on here and trash men. Essentially what you're saying is, I gave them a chance, and this is what y'all are not above anybody. You're not better than anybody. And you guys keep on walking around with this attitude. When I heard you in the first video, I'm well traveled. I do this. That's you subtly saying, this is what I am, this I can do. And you're elevating yourself, even though you probably don't think so. You're elevating yourself and, I can do that. You're not better than anyone. I don't care if you've been to Antarctica. I don't care if you've been to the Maldives or whatever, a luxury island. You guys be thinking y'all are the main character. Y'all are celebrities, and y'all can just do anybody any kind of way. Y'all can just talk about anybody any kind of way, and you're not supposed to get backlash about it. Y'all be throwing rocks, hiding your hand, and get mad when somebody say, okay, let me find a little smooth stone. See if I can hit you right between the eyes. And then you're mad. But okay.
I mean, maybe they're not doing it to be sexualized. Yeah.
Why else would they get on the table?
Why can't a woman move freely as she wants on the table, because that's what she can do and have agency over her body?
Are we doing all that banter now?
No, I'm serious. I'm just serious. You know what I mean? So two girls are standing on the table and they're moving and they're shaking and they're lightly clothed. Okay. When did it become sexualized? When somebody else saw it and made it sexualized.
Just bad behavior. Like, why, when I behave badly, do I have to face the consequences? What's wrong? What's wrong with these women?
Here's the reason why men don't feel a bond to you once you are intimate with them. If you've ever wondered about this, or wondered why when you do something with a man, you feel more bonded to them, but they don't seem to really care and they don't have that attachment in the same way, this is why. Okay, so when you and a man are intimate with each other, you guys are both releasing oxytocin. Oxytocin is like the love hormone. However, in a woman, estrogen increases the effects of the oxytocin. So you're leaving that feeling extremely bonded to this person. And even though men also do release oxytocin when that happens, their testosterone kind of blunts that effect of the oxytocin. So those feelings fade extremely quickly, and it's just not as intense for them. So they can walk away and kind of just experience that with anyone, and they're fine and they're not attached in the same way that women are. That's why when girls say, oh, we're hooking up, but I'm not catching feelings, it never works. It's not possible. So what's my point in sharing this? Women, remember the power of your body. I've made videos about this before because I feel so strongly about this, but not everyone should get to experience you in that way, especially if they don't even really know you. If you really want a man to take you seriously and you want a serious future with the guy that you're talking to, save the intimacy. Make that man your friend first. Like, get to know each other, build a foundation before that person gets to experience you in that way. Your body is so sacred. You are a queen. Not everyone deserves to have it, okay?
There's a woman in the comments as well as being there saying y'all be making crazy generalizations. Like, who do y'all be messing with? We don't know. We don't know. They just be out here doing whatever they want.